Hello, race fans. This is Rory. You're in paddock headquarters. Spanish Grand Prix is on the books. Barcelona. Here we go. Let's talk about the race. So, we're going to talk about Red Bull first. We got to because Max Verstappen, he's on his game. He's in his zone. And I've said it before. You know it and I know it. Unless he makes a mistake or has a mechanical failure, he really is untouchable. He proved it again today. It was an incredible masterclass. He controlled the race from start to finish, and you just have to give him credit. Even if you're not a fan of Max, even if you're not a fan of Red Bull, what they're doing with this historic season really is something to watch. Max has won 5 out of 7 races now, I believe. Just incredible. Incredible. Hats off to Checo. Checo is having a tough time in the championship race, but he does climb from, I think, 11th position into the 4th position. He helps the team. He gets a bunch of points. He gets some points for himself. He still, of course, wants to come in second in the championship if he can't beat Max. So I give him some credit. It's just tough when you're racing against Max with that car, with that talent, even though Checo has a fast car himself. I thought it was good. I thought Checo did good. He did as well as he could after having trouble yesterday. His problems, if I was going to critique Checo, it was on everything that happened before today. So, Red Bull, good job. Mercedes. Congratulations to Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton takes the second spot on the stack, comes in second, really doing well. Up until a couple days ago, they didn't know if their cars would be competitive compared to the rest of the field. It's working. They've made massive upgrades and changes, and their progress seems to be going in the right direction, and it doesn't look like they're taking a step back. Several of the teams take a step forward, and then they take a step back, and that's not the case with Mercedes. George Russell, I have a love-hate relationship with George. Sometimes I think he complains a little too much, but I do enjoy watching him race. He's very talkative on the radio, and in this position, he came out, he was not in the top 10 starting. I knew he was going to climb, just like Checo, and he did. Aggressive race, handled the car well, very, very well. He climbs into the 3rd position on the stack. Great job, George Russell. Good job for Mercedes. Even if you're not a Mercedes team fan, you have to give them credit because their program, they are in the midst of their turnaround, and it's going in the right direction. Let's get to Ferrari. Ferrari, who knows what to say about Ferrari? A lot of questions, and nobody has the answers. Carlos starts off in the 2nd position. He ends up finishing 5th, but really looked like that's where he was going to be the whole time. He had trouble. There's communication issues. There's strategy issues. Just tough to watch if you're a Ferrari fan. You have to eat this weekend and hope they can finally start putting something together at the next race. Charles comes in 11th. Not bad for him starting 19th, but he's out of the points. And for Ferrari, really, it's just another wasted weekend. It really is. They need answers, and nobody has them over there. So let's see what they continue to do as we move through the season. McLaren. Lando starts in P3. He finishes 17th. That's a heartbreak. Oscar Piastri, where is he? 13th? Good job for Oscar for most of the race, but ultimately can't get up into the points. McLaren is one of these teams that they're doing well. They take a step forward, then they take a hit, and they step back. And they cannot afford to do that because their main rival, as you know, is Alpine. And as you know, Alpine, both of their cars finished in the points, right? Gasly finished 10th, and Ocon finished 8th. Gasly, of course, benefited from the Yuki penalty, which we'll talk about in a minute. Nevertheless, both Alpines finish in the points. Both McLarens finish outside of the points. A very tough weekend for McLaren. I hope they can put something together and have a great week next race as well. I want to see competition. I want to see competition going into the last race of the season, the last race or two where it's really, really exciting. So that's kind of what I'm pulling for. Haas and Williams, both of them together. With Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Sargent, and Albon. Completely non-competitive this weekend. They're finishing in the bottom 5. Terrible outing. Not much to say. Logan Sargent, he really has some work to do compared to the other rookies. Oscar Piastri and Nick DeVries both finish ahead of him. He started out the season qualifying well, and he seems to have, he's one of these drivers and one of the teams that seems to be taking a step back. They take a step forward, then they take a step back. But Logan Sargent, another couple races like this, even though he's a rookie, and you have to start asking questions. Now, listen, I'm American. I'm pulling for the American driver. I'm a fan of Logan Sargent. But he has to be careful because there is a lot of talent out there on the sidelines looking for a seat next season. A lot of work to do with Williams. And Haas is the same thing as Ferrari, even though they're further down on the grid. A lot of questions, and nobody has the answers. Okay? I want to talk about, let's talk about Yuki and AlphaTauri, and then we'll talk about Aston Martin. So Yuki puts together a good week. He's racing well. He gets a penalty. When they show this penalty on TV, or when they show the move on TV where he pushes Zhou Guanyu off of the track, I thought it was a bit aggressive. I really did. Then when they showed the replay and the commentators, they're saying it was just racing. No penalty is deserved. Just let them race. You know, Zhou wasn't ahead of him. He was either equal side by side or behind. And that was just it. Yuki was ahead of him. He gets the line, and he gets to determine how that turn goes. Well, the stewards saw it differently. They penalized Yuki. It knocked him out of the points. I thought he was going to have a fit. I watched his post-race interview. He was very mature. He didn't lose it. He was not happy. But, you know, characteristically, Yuki can get a little crazy. And his language can get a little aggressive. And he can show a lack of maturity sometimes. But in this instance, he took the penalty well. He's very upset. I don't know if it was deserved or not, but that's what happened. That's where we are. So the other driver, Nick DeVries, 14th. Not bad for DeVries. He had a very difficult start to the season, as you know, and then he's kind of stabilized. So he's poised to take the next step right about now. If he's going to move up and make some moves, now would be the time to do it. Okay? That's where we are with them. Finally, Alfa Romeo, Bottas, what is he, 19th? Zhou finishes 9th because of the penalty. Otherwise, he would have been out of the points as well. Zhou shows some aggressiveness, shows he wants to race, really put in a good effort. But that team really seems to be just like a placeholder getting through the season. So congratulations to Zhou, at least for doing what you're doing and trying to stay competitive. Bottas, I don't know. I don't know what to say about him. It was really just, it seems like he's just an also-ran, just on the track with the car. Maybe he can help his teammate out, but certainly not in any position to aggressively earn points or try for anything higher than average. It's really a little bit of a curiosity watching that. So that's where we are. I think I hit all the teams. Fernando, did I do Fernando? Both of the Alpines finished in the points. Gasly 10th, Ocon 8th. Great job for him, both of them. Gasly gets the benefit of that Yuki penalty as well. Alonso takes some hits for saying once he gets into the 7th position that he's not going to overtake Lance. They were very critical of him for doing that. But listen, Fernando is not going to win the championship this year. He knows if both cars for Aston Martin finish 6th and 7th, they're going to get the points. It's a good team effort. Even though Lance's father owns the team, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was mature of Fernando. He didn't have to aggressively overtake one spot when it's not going to make a difference in the championship. So I was okay with it. I didn't hit Fernando as him being non-competitive like some of the commentators did. But that's another team. We'll see what happens next in the next race as well. So great job all around. Thank you for watching. Remember, I drop a video every single day. Like, follow, subscribe. This is all things Formula One. Paddock Headquarters. Have a great day.